Do you want to cook like a pro and speak English with confidence? Then come with me, because my story today begins not in a classroom, but in a tiny kitchen filled with courage, curiosity, and a little bit of fear. In just a few weeks, I'll be far from home. A new country, a new language, and flavors I've never tried before. I'm excited, but also scared. What if I can't find food that feels like home? What if I miss the taste of comfort? So today, I'll face that fear in the best way I know. By cooking something simple, warm, and full of hope. Carbonara. It's one of the most loved dishes in the world. Creamy, comforting, and a perfect start for someone learning to live and speak independently. Hi, I'm Bella, and this is Daily English Voice, where every story is more than a lesson. It's a journey of English, courage, and self-discovery. While I learn to cook, I'll also learn to speak. Because language, like food, grows richer when you share it with love. So tie your apron, open your heart, and let's begin. One brave word, one delicious step at a time. Comment one below if you're ready to join me to cook, to learn, and to grow together in English. Journey to find ingredient. The morning light spilled across my small kitchen table. I opened my notebook and wrote one simple rule. Today's mission: find everything for carbonara. My list looked easy. Pasta, eggs, cheese, cream, and bacon. But this was my first time shopping for Western ingredients. How hard could it be? I smiled, famous last words. At the supermarket, the bright aisles stretched endlessly. Signs everywhere. Aisle 3, dairy. Aisle 5, pasta and sauces. I pushed the trolley slowly, repeating the English words under my breath. Cheese, cream, pasta. Soon I stood in front of the dairy shelf and froze. There were 5 kinds of cream. Single cream, double cream, heavy cream, whipping cream, and soured cream. My brain whispered, too many creams for one small pasta. I picked up one bottle, then another, reading the tiny labels. Which one is for carbonara? I murmured. An old lady beside me smiled kindly.
For pasta, double cream is best, dear.
Thank you. You saved my dinner. She smiled.
Enjoy your carbonara.
Next stop, cheese section. Again, a puzzle. Cheddar, mozzarella, parmesan. I finally found a small wedge labeled Italian parmesan. Me whispering to myself, Pa, Mizen, parmesan. Got it. When I reached the pasta aisle, I sighed in relief. Pasta was simple until I saw the options: spaghetti, fettuccine, penne, fusilli. I blinked. Me. Carbonara? Spaghetti? Yes. Stick to the classic. I checked my list again. Pasta, cream, cheese, bacon. Mission complete. But as I walked to the counter, I noticed one more phrase on the milk bottle. Use by date. It reminded me of something my grandma used to say. Fresh food has a short life, just like new chances. Use them before they expire. I smiled at that thought, placed everything on the checkout belt, and whispered softly in English. One small bag today, but one big lesson learned. The carbonara cooking experiment. The kitchen smelled like new beginnings. Today, I wasn't just watching cooking videos. I was doing it for real. Half the recipe, but a full heart. I boiled the spaghetti in a big pot of salty water with a few drops of oil. The noodles moved like golden ribbons. I stirred gently and thought. Cooking feels like learning English, one stir at a time. While the pasta cooked, I fried bacon and onions until golden brown. The sound, sizzle, pop, crackle, made me smile. The smell filled the room, warm, smoky, comforting. Then came the sauce, one egg, a little cream, and cheese. I whisked them together until smooth and light yellow. Everything looked perfect. I took a deep breath. It was time to combine everything. I poured the sauce into the hot pasta and stirred carefully. Just like in the video. The noodles shone under the kitchen light, soft and glossy. For a moment, it felt right, like I had done everything perfectly. But then I took a bite. The taste stopped me. Something was off. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't right either. The flavor was strange, too light, almost flat. Not like the creamy, rich carbonara I remembered eating before. I tried another bite, hoping it would change. It didn't. My smile faded. Why? Why does it taste different? I did everything right. I sat down at the small kitchen table, The steam from the noodles faded too, just like my excitement. Everything looked perfect. But the taste told another story. For a few quiet minutes, I just stared at my plate. I felt that small, heavy sadness that comes when you try so hard and it's still not enough. I whispered softly, maybe I did something wrong, but I don't know what yet. I need to find out. I didn't finish the plate. I closed my notebook and wrote one small sentence. Perfect steps, but not the perfect taste yet. Then I smiled a little, because maybe the recipe wasn't wrong. I just hadn't found my own flavor yet. Stand up after failure. I didn't want to give up yet. The taste from earlier still stayed in my mouth, strange and wrong. So I sat down, opened my laptop, and searched again. How to make perfect carbonara. I watched the video carefully this time. The chef's voice was calm, confident. He said, don't cook the sauce on high heat. The secret is in the timing. I replayed that part 3 times. Then I realized I had cooked too fast. The egg didn't blend, it scrambled. That was my mistake. I took a deep breath and smiled. Okay, Bella, you know what went wrong. Now fix it. I still had half the ingredients, enough for a second try. So I stood up, tied my apron again, and started over. First, I boiled 250 grams of pasta in 2 liters of boiling water, with a spoon of salt and a few drops of oil. This time, I watched every second. Not just cooking, but learning. The noodles softened slowly, not too fast, not too soft. I lifted one strand and smiled. Perfect. Next, I fried the bacon and onions again, gently, on low heat. The smell filled the air, smoky, sweet, and alive. Then I turned off the heat completely. I mixed 1 egg, 3 spoons of cream, and 2 spoons of Parmesan in a small bowl. I whisked slowly until it looked silky and light. My hands didn't shake this time. They knew what to do. Finally, I poured the sauce into the warm pasta. I stirred softly, no rush, no fear. And this time, the sauce turned thick, creamy, and golden. I took 1 bite. Smooth, rich, comforting, like success in a spoon. I laughed, almost crying. It worked. I really did it. I looked at the plate. It wasn't just food. It was proof. Failure had taught me the most delicious lesson. Patience makes everything better. I wrote in my notebook. Lesson learned. Slow down. Stay kind to yourself and never stop trying. The taste of learning. So what did I really cook today? Not just pasta, but confidence. And here are the English ingredients I learned along the way. Boil, stir, pour, mix, whisk, and taste. Simple words, but full of life when used with heart. Each action taught me something new. Boil reminds me to stay patient when things heat up. Stir tells me to keep moving, even when it feels heavy. Taste teaches me to enjoy small wins. Now it's your turn. Try this carbonara recipe and practice these English verbs while cooking. Speak them out loud. Make mistakes. Laugh and learn. Tell me in the comments. Which word or phrase did you use today? Did your dish turn out right or deliciously wrong? Because both are part of the story. And if you enjoyed cooking and learning with me, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Daily English Voice, and join me next time for another delicious story, where English isn't just studied, it's lived, tasted, and shared.